He was 96 years old, and he had a rock-hard erection. No pills, no injections, no hormone therapy. Just one simple habit he'd followed every single day for over 4 decades. As a board-certified urologist and penis surgeon with more than 30 years of experience, I've seen everything. Thousands of patients, thousands of conditions, but this man caught me off guard. My name is Dr. Mohit Kara. I've spent my entire career helping men, especially those over 60, restore their vitality, their confidence, and their ability to be intimate again. But nothing in medical school, no textbook, no case study ever prepared me for what this 96-year-old patient taught me that day. Most men believe that with age sexual function simply declines, that losing your erection is just part of growing old. But what if I told you that's not entirely true? What if one small, natural, and affordable habit could change that narrative completely? In this video, I'm going to reveal the exact strategy this man followed and the science that now backs it. You'll learn how to support stronger erections, improve circulation, protect your prostate, and reclaim the sexual strength you once had without relying on pharmaceuticals. But before I share his secret, I need you to hear what's really happening inside your body after 60. Because once you understand that the power of this one daily habit will make perfect sense. Let's begin. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time to do it. And be sure to turn on the notification bell. That way you won't miss any future videos designed to help you stay strong, confident, and in control as you age. And if you find this video helpful, just type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. And let me know how I can better support your health journey. All right. Let's start with the story that changed everything for me as a doctor. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon when a 96-year-old man walked into my clinic. No walker, no assistance, just a confident smile. What he shared with me during that visit would go on to reshape how I understand male vitality in later life. This wasn't just another routine checkup. This was the moment I discovered the most unexpected and powerful lesson of my career. The man who shocked me. Forget the day he walked into my office, 96 years old, not hunched over, not shuffling his feet, but walking tall, chest open, full of life. Most men at that age are slowing down, dependent on medication, sometimes even on others to get through the day. But not him. He had this calm confidence, this light in his eyes, and honestly, a kind of presence you don't see often, even in men. Half his age, I greeted him as I would any other patient, expecting maybe to check on blood pressure, prostate concerns, routine labs. But within minutes, I realized this was no ordinary visit. After his exam, I asked the usual question, "How's everything functioning for you physically, intimately?" He laughed, looked me dead in the eye and said, "Doctor, I'm still waking up hard every morning." I thought I misheard him. I asked again just to clarify, and again he smiled and said, "I've still got it. Strong, steady, no issues. I'm 96, not 106. He wasn't bragging. He was just being honest. As a surgeon who spent decades working with men struggling with erectile dysfunction, prostate issues, and declining testosterone, I was stunned. How was this possible? What was he doing differently from the thousands of men I treated, many of whom were 30 years younger and unable to perform? So I leaned in and asked him directly, "What's your secret?" And I'll never forget what he said. "I do one thing every single day, just one habit. Been doing it since I was in my 50s. It's simple, natural, and I swear by it." I assumed it was something complex, some cutting-edge supplement, a rare therapy. But no, what he told me was so ordinary, so overlooked, I almost laughed. But I didn't, because the results were standing right in front of me. That conversation changed the way I look at aging male health, and especially how we think about what's normal after 60. This man wasn't an exception to the rule. He was living proof that the rule needed to change. And what he revealed next led me to one of the simplest, most powerful tools I now give to my patients every day. Let me show you exactly what this habit is and why it works better than most people realize. I'll admit at first, I didn't. The daily habit that changed everything, fully believe him. I nodded politely, but inside I was thinking it couldn't possibly be that simple. But I had to ask, what is this one habit you've stuck to for over 40 years? He smiled again and said, every morning without fail, I eat one handful of raw mixed nuts and seeds. That's it. That's it. A handful of nuts. No pills, no devices, no strict regimens. I was surprised, even skeptical. But something about the way he said it, the consistency, the conviction made me pause. And then I remembered what I saw in the exam room. A man approaching 100, still mentally sharp, physically mobile, and yes, still sexually active. That kind of vitality doesn't come from luck alone. So I started digging. I went back to the research. I pored over medical journals, nutritional studies, blood flow, data, anything that could help me understand what was happening inside his body. And to my surprise, the science was there, solid, proven, and far more extensive than I had expected. This one daily habit was doing more than just helping his erections. It was supporting his entire vascular system. It was protecting his heart, his brain, and yes, his prostate. The specific blend of nutrients found in those nuts and seeds, magnesium, zinc, selenium, healthy fats, and especially L-arginine, were working together to increase blood flow, reduce inflammation, and optimize his body's natural performance. I thought back to the hundreds of men I'd seen who felt discouraged, embarrassed, even defeated by their declining sexual health, men who were told it was just part of aging. And here was a patient defying the odds with something so simple, so accessible, it almost felt unfair how overlooked it was. From that moment on, I began recommending it to other patients, and over the months and years that followed, the results kept speaking for themselves. But it's not just about what he was eating. It's about why it worked so well. What was happening inside his blood vessels and hormone systems that made this habit so effective? That's where things get really fascinating. Let me break down the science behind it, the part that makes nuts nature's most powerful and underrated erection enhancer. As I look deeper into the nuts, our nature's Viagra research, and listened to more patients who started incorporating this habit, one thing became crystal clear. What this man was doing wasn't just healthy, it was biologically powerful. Nuts aren't just a snack. They're nature's version of Viagra without the side effects. Here's what most people, patients, and even many doctors don't fully understand. For an erection to happen, blood needs to flow freely and rapidly into the penile tissue. That flow depends almost entirely on the flexibility and openness of your blood vessels. And that's where nitric oxide comes in. Nitric oxide is the molecule your body produces to relax and expand your blood vessels. It's the very compound pharmaceutical drugs, like Viagra, are designed to target. Without enough nitric oxide, even if you feel desire, your body simply can't respond. Now here's the incredible part. Several of the nuts this patient was eating every day were packed with l'arginine, a natural amino acid that boosts your nitric oxide levels. When L-arginine enters your system, it converts to nitric oxide and signals your blood vessels to open up, allowing more oxygen-rich blood to flow exactly where it's needed when it's needed. And this effect doesn't just support erections, it benefits your entire cardiovascular system. I began to realize that what this man was really doing was maintaining healthy circulation from the inside out. He wasn't fighting the signs of aging with drugs or surgeries. He was preventing them from happening in the first place. Over time, I saw this reflected in my own patients. Men who'd struggled for years with weak or unreliable erections started noticing firmer, more consistent responses, sometimes within just a few weeks, of changing their morning routine. Not only that they reported better energy, clearer thinking, and improved moods, and it all traced back to this one natural daily boost in blood flow. But what if I told you there's even more to the story? Because while blood flow is essential, it's only part of the equation. The real secret lies in the specific types of nuts he was eating and what each one does for your body. Let me show you the 6 that stand out most and why I now call them the Erection superfoods. Once I understood how the 6 superstars for stronger erections, habit-boosted blood flow, I wanted to know exactly what kinds of nuts delivered the strongest results. Not all nuts are created equal, and what this patient was doing so brilliantly, whether he realized it or not, was selecting a very specific combination of natural foods that each played a unique role in supporting his sexual health. I started calling them the Erection superfoods because, frankly, that's what they are. I'll walk you through the top 6 he included in his routine, and that I now recommend to nearly every older male patient who walks into my clinic. Pistachios stood out right away. They're rich in arginine. Yes, but they also contain antioxidants and plant compounds that improve blood vessel flexibility. Clinical studies even show measurable improvement in erectile function after just a few weeks of adding pistachios to your diet. Walnuts are another powerful ally. With their high omega-3 fatty acid content, they reduce inflammation and improve blood viscosity, key for smooth, uninterrupted blood flow. Almonds bring vitamin E and magnesium to the table, both of which support hormone balance and nerve function. Hazelnuts, too, offer vitamin E in abundance, and they're an excellent choice for keeping testosterone levels stable. Then there's the Brazil nut, a personal favorite to recommend because of its rich selenium content. Selenium is essential for testosterone production and overall sperm health. And finally, pumpkin seeds. Loaded with zinc, they help regulate libido and protect the prostate, which is absolutely critical as men age. Each of these has its own strength, but together they create a synergistic effect, a kind of natural formula that strengthens your vascular system, supports hormone balance, and nourishes your body in the way it was designed to be nourished. No synthetics, no side effects, just food in its raw, powerful form. Still, even with all these benefits, there's a concern I hear often from my patients. It's a valid one, and it usually goes something like this. But doc, aren't nuts high in fat? Won't they make me gain weight? It's a good question, and the truth might surprise you. Let me explain what you really need to know about fat portion control and how to use this habit the smart way, that concern about more than just erections. Fat is common, and I completely understand it. Many of my patients grew up during the low-fat diet craze when we were told fat was the enemy. So when I suggest eating nuts every day, their first reaction is usually hesitation. But what most men don't realize is that the fats found in nuts are some of the healthiest, most protective nutrients you can put into your body, especially as you age. These are not the fats that clog your arteries or pack on stubborn belly weight. These are unsaturated fats, omega-3s, and monounsaturated fats that help lower inflammation, regulate cholesterol, and support your heart. They act like internal lubricants, keeping your blood vessels smooth and elastic so blood can flow freely, including where it matters most during intimacy. What's more, these fats are essential for brain function and hormone production. That means better focus, improved memory, and more balanced testosterone levels. So when you eat a handful of these nuts each day, you're not just doing something good for your sexual health, you're investing in your longevity, your mental sharpness, and your emotional resilience. And here's the truth about calories. Yes, nuts are calorie dense, but they're also incredibly satiating. That means you feel full longer, reducing the urge to snack on processed foods or sugars that truly do contribute to weight gain and metabolic issues. One handful, about 1.5 to 2 ounces, is all you need. It's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. The 96-year-old patient who inspired all of this, he wasn't overeating. He wasn't counting every calorie either. He simply made one small, intentional choice every day, and over time that consistency paid off not just in the bedroom, but in every area of his health. But here's the part. I want you to hear loud and clear. This isn't just about the science. It's about something deeper, something emotional, something many men are afraid to say out loud. In my next story, I want to talk about what happens to your sense of self as intimacy fades and how this simple daily practice can help restore far more than just your physical performance. As I spoke with more. But doctor, aren't nuts high in fat? Patients over the years, something kept coming up, not just in their words, but in their eyes, their posture, their energy. It wasn't just about erections, it was about identity. And that's why what this daily habit really gives men isn't just physical strength. It's the return of dignity, connection, and a part of themselves they thought was lost. I've seen it too many times to count. A man in his 60s or 70s walks into my office after years of silence, years of feeling embarrassed or ashamed. Sometimes he's given up. Sometimes his relationship is suffering. Sometimes he just wants to feel like himself again. And when we really talk, what he's asking for isn't just medical advice. He's asking for hope. That's why I don't treat erections as a vanity issue. I treat them as a quality of life issue. Because when a man feels confident in his body, everything shifts. He moves differently. He speaks with more certainty. He shows up more fully for his partner and for himself. That's what my 96-year-old patient understood better than most. He never saw this as something trivial. He honored his body. He respected it enough to care for it, to nourish it, to show up for it day after day. And that's exactly what this habit represents. Not a quick fix, not a shortcut, but a commitment, a quiet promise to stay alive in every sense of the word. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to begin one handful, one morning at a time. And now, if you're still with me, you're probably wondering the same thing. Many of my patients ask at this point, is it really too late for me? I have something to say about that. Something I hope every man over 60 hears loud and clear, because in the final part of this message, I want to tell you why I believe with all my heart it is never too late to feel like a man again. And that brings me to what I conclusion believe matters most. It's never too late to feel like yourself again. I've spent decades listening to men just like you, who were told by doctors, by society, or by their own inner voice that aging means letting go of passion, intimacy, and the confidence they once had. But that couldn't be further from the truth. I've seen firsthand how the body, even at 60, 70, or 80, still wants to respond. It just needs the right kind of support. We've talked about a 96-year-old man whose simple daily habit helped him defy nearly every expectation of aging. No pills, no shortcuts, just one handful of raw natural foods. Nuts and seeds packed with nutrients like larginine magnesium, zinc, selenium, and omega-3s that quietly fueled his circulation, boosted his hormone balance, and kept his vitality intact. We explored how those nutrients support nitric oxide production, relax blood vessels, protect the prostate, and improve not just erections, but total health from brain clarity to heart function. We address the myths around fat and calories, and why eating smart, not less, is the real key to aging well. And more importantly, we touched on something most people ignore: the emotional weight of losing touch with that part of yourself, the part that still wants to connect, love, and feel alive. If you take just one thing from this story, let it be this: you are not broken. Your body still remembers how to work. It just needs the right tools, the right fuel, and the right attention. A new chapter is possible not by chasing youth, but by embracing wisdom, consistency, and truth. So tomorrow morning, when you stand at your kitchen counter, consider what that small handful of nuts might really represent. It's not just nutrition. It's a choice to show up for yourself, to believe that you still matter, and to reclaim the part of your life you thought might be gone for good. Because the truth is, strength isn't just something you had. It's something you still have. And now, it's time to return to it. If this message spoke to you, even just a little, please take a moment to like this video. Share it with another man who needs to hear it, and leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts or questions. Your voice matters. And if you'd like to support this channel and help us keep creating honest, empowering content for older men, consider making a small donation. Every bit helps us reach more people and keep this important conversation alive. You're not alone on this journey, and your engagement keeps this mission going. Thank you for being here.